G'day guys, Mackie with the Outer Circle. I'm joined by Kat.
Hello, everyone.
And today we're going to be talking about, the 7th Ed, 8th Ed deal that's going on and a whole bunch of rumours we've seen and how they could possibly, maybe not, affect 8th edition and the Horus Heresy. This is not a, we hate 8th edition, 8th Ed sucks. It's actually more of a, what if these rumours are real? How will it affect Horus Heresy? And maybe people will gain understanding as to both sides of the argument. What people who want 7th Ed to remain, why they feel that way, and why some people who are all for 8th Ed, maybe some of the positives that are forthcoming. So, yeah, Kat, anything you want to say to our lovely viewers before we start?
The wicked globalists, man. We have the documents. The frogs are gonna make 8th edition actually 2nd edition, but with gay frogs, man. We have the documents. Y2K.
But we have the documents, right?
Well, we have a document.
Yes, we do. This one. So, Kat, first thing I noticed here, obviously this is via sources, and as we all know, an unsubstantiated rumour on the internet is in fact truth. I believe it was Abraham Lincoln who said that.
Yeah, probably. And Hitler.
Yeah, so they were both around in the early days of the internet. And of course, here's a whole list of different rumours and things like that about 8th edition that apparently have been dropped. And we're going to talk about some of them. Not all of them, because that would take forever.
Dude, you gotta be more like, whoa, the world's gonna end, man. It's how Alex Jones gets his money. You're the fucking 40k Alex Jones. I gotta be that pompous fucking Englishman and be all like, oh, and what do we have here? Duncan says that he's an absolute and utter piece of shit, which is true. But anyway, sorry, I interrupted.
I think that Duncan is conspiring to make the frogs gay. He's conspiring to make the frogs gay.
No, what is he going to do? Custodes are going to be a new army and shit. Alright, we'll actually talk about proper shit first, and then we'll dig up.
I should mention we're actually going to have a guest on at this stage this weekend, who will join us for a bit of an interview and a bit of a scroppery-dobbery. So, keep your ears out for that one, people, if you don't unsubscribe after this video. Yes. So, first thing that jumps out, assault 2d6 inches, and you can assault multiple units, which are things that exist in this current rule set. So, that's not changing. Good to know. However, the very next thing on the list here is split fire. Apparently, any unit can target as many units as they want. So, this is what I call the dumbing. It's the dumbing right down of a game if it's true. Again, this is unsubstantiated rumours. We're not Bell of Lost Souls. We're not going to treat it as gospel. If any unit can fire at anything, that's fucking with strategy, right? Because instead of you having to make that die-hard choice with a Devastator squad, do I kill this tank or do I kill this one? This one's only on one hull point, but it's a big threat. Now people will be like, fuck it, I'll throw a couple dice at this, I'll throw a couple dice at that. Everyone's a winner. That's dumbing it down to me. Right? That's not simplification.
To me, I think that opens up more options for people and actually will make people think of how they want to choose their way to fire and how they want to get their squads to do that. I think it's more options, the more... I don't know, I don't think that strategy and tactics really come into tabletop wargaming, but the more options you have, the more chances you have to fuck up. And the way you win is by doing all the things right. And if your opponent fucks up more, you usually win. That's usually how you win.
There you go, people.
So, more chances to fuck up.
You're getting a balanced viewpoint here. Normally, the unit don't have to target the nearest unit, but there are lots of units, lots of abilities that have this restriction. So, I'd be interested to see how that actually plays out by lots of abilities. I'm assuming that might mean something like psychic powers or special rules. How would you take that?
That's good. Well, normally units don't have to target the nearest unit. That's just exactly the same fucking thing, unless they've got like frenzy or some shit, or they're blood crazed maniacs and they need to fire. Again, it's the same shit, right? You don't need to shoot the same closest unit at the moment, so it's not changing.
Fifth one down, sorry. Most power fields, etc., are separate saves that are taken in addition to other saves. Just like Feel No Pain, they may or may not ignore mortal wounds on a case-by-case basis. So I'm assuming that's an invulnerable save it's referring to?
That's an assumption.
Well, I did say I assume.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that, like, if it was like a Terminator and they copped a wound from like a las cannon, and it dropped them down to a 5+ save, they'd take the 5+ save, and if they failed that, they would then get a second save, which is their invul, which would pretty much turn this into Warhammer Fantasy Ward saves.
Well, power fields rather than invulnerable saves. I guess they couldn't IP invulnerable save. Look, I think that as long as I can take a bunch of power fields, give them infiltrate and scout, it should be fine.
If you do that to your fortifications.
For those who read the not latest 7th edition FAQ, the previous one, I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah, there was a lot of fucking questions about can I take an entire army of battle stations and shit, like bunkers, just entirely made out of bunkers, and if I give them scout, can I infiltrate? It's fucking insane, man. But yeah, I'm guessing that's the kind of questions that will follow this FAQ.
Oh,
like, if that's the thing, man, can I say? Sorry, we should move on to the next one.
Yes, dodges, camos, etc. are now to hit modifiers. I like that. But I am noticing a lot of modifiers. I don't know about you, but I don't think that making a ton of modifiers is a way of simplifying a game. Because we already know roughly how the shooting phase works. You select your target, you then have a flat to hit roll. That to hit roll is then decreased if you moved. So let's say you've got a las cannon, right? And it hits on a 3+. If you then move,
What's my las cannon guy's name?
Sniper Joe.
Charlie it is. So Charlie has a
Hey, that's racist against Viet Cong.
I think Charlie the Unicorn, mate. He's white as fuck.
Mate, that's whitewashing.
What about pink? Anyway, alright, sorry. His name's unimportant, damn it. Alright, so he has a las cannon.
Yeah, so he has a las cannon. He then moves. He's allowed to shoot the las cannon now.
Allegedly. He might have a modifier.
It does have a -1 modifier to hit. So his las cannon will drop from a 3+ to a 4+, and if you're shooting at someone with camo...
You're assuming his ballistic skill. That's fucking evil. Please, go on.
No, that was what was written on GW's community portal. So...
I said it was evil, mate.
He now drops by a further -1 for shooting at someone camoed. We'll say -1, it could be -2, who knows. So I've now gone through 3 modifiers before I've even fired my shot. So now I fire my shot, let's say I hit. My target is, we'll say, another Space Marine, and he gets a 3+ save. My las cannon knocks that armor save down by 3, so he gets a 5+ save. But if he's in a crater, his save is increased by... he gets a 6+ save. But if he's in a crater, it's increased by 2. So he will then go back to a 4+ save. So how does all these extra steps simplify the shooting phase? This is what I'm not getting about the 8th edition hype, right? Because I'm fine with going to a new edition of 40k, but I need to see that it's going to be an improvement and not just, Malibu Stacy has a new hat. And that's what I'm worried about here is that, everyone going, it's the best edition ever, it's going to be the most balanced edition ever. They're talking out their ass because they don't have a fucking clue, right? They only know exactly what we know. And if it's going to be the best edition ever, like, Games Workshop's a company. Do you think they're going to get on their website? I mean, they're an incompetent company at times, but they're going to get on their website and say, yeah, guys, this edition that's coming out, it's fucking shit. Don't buy it. It's pretty much cancer. and is actually made in like a Chinese fucking sweatshop, people are going to be like, fuck that, and not buy it, right? So of course they're going to turn around and say, oh, it's going to be a great edition, guys. You're going to love it. Heaps of new models and cool shit, right? And that's the hype train. People are on this hype train like something chronic. So this is my fear. I'm looking at all the information they've released, piecing it all together, right? We now know how like the shooting phase works, and I'm sort of sitting here scratching my head going, that's simplified? Because instead of having to look at a ballistic skill table, I now have to just do a bunch of modifiers with my fucking brain. That's not simplified. That's not simplified at all.
Okay, let me put in
It's
here.
just shifting the
Macca
goal,
Jones,
you know?
Macca Jones. Okay, so I want to get in because I'm going to have... I haven't been answering them. I've been looking at them and just not answering them because maybe I can just link them this video now. Okay, just let me look through this. Okay, so you go ahead and say that they are dumbing down 40k in regards to movement, shooting in combat and stuff like that. Sorry, not for movement or something. I don't know what the fuck these cunts on about. And then you go to say that they are making it needlessly complicated when it comes to the measurement of, I guess, shooting in that case.
Yes, because
so you're saying
the system
it's
itself...
it's going to be a dumbed down version of 7K that's needlessly complicated and...
Yes, because simplicity and dumbing are two completely different concepts, and it's hard to get across to people, especially through the internet. But it's like you're removing strategic options, right? You're like strategic placement used to be a major thing in 40k. You know, you get your unit to just the right point, you can get a perfect angle to hit the rear armor on a tank, something like that. Now it's just like, oh, the tank doesn't have an armor value, it just has a toughness value all around. That's dumbing it down, right? Because you're taking away the tactics involved, and you're instead saying, just, you know, close enough is good enough now, right? You're removing a bit of that real neckbeard strategy that's going on. And at the same time as you're doing that, though, you're then saying, but you've now got to go through this convoluted fucking system of to hits, to wounds, to armor save, and it's like you haven't fixed anything or made it simpler. You've just moved a bunch of shit around as opposed to simplifying it, and at the same time you've dumbed it down. You know, instead of making, like, for example, that whole fact that you can now move, Games Workshop's flat out said it, you can now move and shoot with heavy weapons, and all it is a -1 to hit roll. And it's like, that's not gaining tactics, that's losing tactics, because instead of having to deploy your heavy weapon squad, for example, your Devastator squad, and think it through, you know, how you're going to use them, where you can fire later in the game, and thinking ahead, you're now just like, oh, well, it's only a -1 to hit, who cares if I fucking move now? Whereas before, it used to be no shooting, or in 7th and 6th ed, only snap shooting. So, you know, you've dumbed it down. That's not gaining tactics. It's not saying, oh, you're gaining more tactics because now you can move them and shoot them. No, you could always do that, right? But now it's more effective if you move and shoot them than it used to be. So, I don't know. I think that's dumbing it down. Personal opinion, of course.
Fair enough. Alright, just wanted to get that out because people are going to ask about it, and I don't doubt that they are due to your...
No, that's alright. They'll just
answer.
flag us with mass dislikes when I called out GW on lying to us. And nobody at all refuted me with evidence. They just went and disliked it. Because, you know, people are dumb.
True.
Yeah, so characters cannot join units. I think that's a big one for the Horus Heresy. Because how many units, like character units, are all about joining units to provide bonuses to them? It's like most of the console options, Tech Marines, Apothecaries, what have we got? Vigilators, the sniper dudes, like they got camo cloaks and shit like that. You've got Master of Signals with their Nuncio Vox. The only unit the Moritat could join was Destroyers. So fuck you, Moritat. Extra fuck you. What are the bonuses from like?
Okay, yeah, that's weird. Yeah. Characters can't join units.
Yeah.
Maybe they've got a new thing. Instead of characters, they're called meme lords or something, or edge lords or whatever. You know,
can they copyright
something
that?
Space.
If they can copyright that, then yes.
Yeah, probably they've got it. something.
I don't know if I'm against them not joining units. I think I'm fine with it. I find it a this is the sort of thing that you have to think about. If 7th Ed is kicked away and 8th Ed is the way that 30k has to go, this is going to be something that causes a major fucking headache for the people at Forge World trying to rewrite the Legion as Astartes. Because you're going to have to go through and you're going to have to literally rewrite every character from the ground up to some degree. Especially like Primarchs. Primarchs give a lot of buffs to join their units, but we don't really play with them too much. I think I've played with Primarch in 3 games ever. I know I played against you with 1 cat. And you killed him, so... And you played against me with 1. So... yeah. I don't know, what do you think about characters not joining units?
No, I reckon they're going to just call them something else. That sounds fucking stupid, man. Why the hell? That makes... Unless it's a full skirmish game, I mean, they can still do it in Age of Sigmar, and that's basically what we're doing, Age of Sigmar in space. Like, that should just be, like, big titles. They've changed it from 40k to something else. Warhammer 40,000, Dark Millennium.
Yes, that's...
Age of Sigmar in space, or something like that. I don't know. I'm no marketing genius, but it's certainly getting us to talk about it and people clicking on the link, so whatever. Ning, 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 ning.
Yeah, get our view counts up for our unmonetized videos. That'll earn them.
Yeah.
Characters can only be targeted if nearest unit or within 12 inches. So, Korax's special rule is he can't be targeted if he's not the nearest unit. So, fuck you, Korax. You've just lost one of your special abilities. Can I have a 50-point discount on Korax, please? But, what does... Obviously, this is only a rumour and doesn't have further information, but will that affect things like snipers? What about artillery? If you want to dump artillery into the middle of, like, a character, and just they can't do that anymore? I don't know. Seems a bit strange, but I guess it makes sense. They don't want, a Devastator squad just turning all their las cannons on the enemy Praetor in turn 1, so... Fair enough.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I just kind of got a new phone and I broke the shit out of it. But, yeah. That's interesting. Characters can only be targeted if nearest target or within 12 inches. I don't understand it. Characters can't join units, but then they can't be targeted. So that's their, like, full safe. What the fuck wouldn't you target HQ units for? As if you wouldn't. That's how you break an army's,
Well, it's like Americans in the Revolution, shooting British officers. That's what they did. Their riflemen had fucking sniped British officers. It's like, didn't matter how close they were to the infantry, right? You noticed the dude on the horse with the sword. Like, I think you would notice, like, the blinged out Praetor with the giant glowing green energy sword in, like, the middle of a Blood Angels army, I think would stand out from all the dudes in, like, basic stock armor.
Or, a guard unit, or whatever. What they're calling guard now. And they're like, hey, that guy's well fed. Looks like they've had a meal, or, and he's got a hot drink. Fucking headshot, cunt. Ooh,
yeah.
20 points.
Everyone else is, like, really low on morale, clearly. Like, you can see those guys have been digging pits for days, so, yeah.
And they're all hunched over and shit, and just cunts, like, getting lifted by 5 other dudes, not getting his fucking cape dirty. And you're like, you know what? I don't want to mess up his suit. I'm not going to shoot him. That would be not gentlemanlike. Maybe that's the game now, 8th edition. The
gentleman's edition.
Gentleman's war. Yes, the gentleman's edition.
You get a blast template.
Do not kill officers.
You get a small blast template now. Rumours that the blast template are being removed. That's fake news. The blast template is actually just now being changed to a monocle for the gentleman's edition of 40k. You heard it here first, people.
Fucking sick. I would buy. Deep striking units can be placed anywhere. Every unit with deep strike has a value. Have to beat it to land on target. Otherwise, opposing player can move unit the rolled distance. Yeah, that's nothing. No.
So, how does that affect teleport homers, master of signals? Again, like, try and do our best to link this back to the heresy. Because this clearly...
Cut them away. It works no more. It's old technology. Legacy fucking technology.
It's fake news. It's all fake news.
All your fucking thing. They've taken it off the fucking... Your teleport homers are working on a 2G network. Shit's out of fucking... It's outdated. It's legacy equipment. You have to either fucking get on it or you're out.
Oh,
you're
so
out.
they're using the Australian internet?
Yes, we're using pigeons to carry data.
There are no more mishaps. Well, part of the Custodes army list is the air strikes, which causes the enemy to mishap on a 4+ if they land within like 12 inches of the dudes that have them.
Definitely be taking that.
Well, there's no more mishaps.
Happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
so
OP.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Why waste the points on it? So there you go. That's an entire item of war gear in the Custode army just negated. I mean, if you rewrote it, I assume what they do, being lazy, is they probably just rewrite it to like, oh, it's a negative modifier on their deep strike landing value. That's the sort of lame fucking way they rewrite that rule, isn't it?
Yeah.
Overwatch shooting against deep striking units within 9 inches at -1 ballistic skill. So you get to... all units, in this case, will be able to intercept. That's going to be fantastic for gunline armies. Like this is a gunline edition, isn't it? This just doesn't like assault. You're gonna like drop pod in with your dreadnought.
We haven't gotten to that point yet, but yeah, sure.
You're gonna drop pod in with your toughness 7 fucking dreadnought, and all the bolt guns are just gonna turn on him. Oh no, -1 to hit, rapid fire. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that's a bit fucking mediocre. Summoning, don't care. It's heresy. Only people that summon are word bearers, and word bearers are whack faggots.
No. But anyway, go on.
There are spells that replenish or add wounds to demon squads. So Gel Vorback with regenerating wounds. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
That would hurt.
Or for your 40k jerks out there, Riptide scanning wounds.
They're not demons.
They are to me, man.
No,
They are to me.
fair call. Most vehicles have a single attack with high strength but no AP. Some have considerably more, like the battle wagon.
Actually, I'd like to retract my first statement and increase on that. Games Workshop is the fucking devil, so they're all fucking demons.
You're like the water boy. Games Workshop is the devil.
Yep.
My mama say Games Workshop is angry because they has all those teeth and no money to floss them with.
Your mama is dumb cunt. GW have all your fucking money. You give to China, they buy now. Yeah, I don't know. This is fucking weird.
Yeah, vehicles with an attack. I guess it's fine for vehicles to have an attack. I just want to know how they're doing it.
Yeah, I hope it's a fucking hit and run. Like, it's straight out of the streets of France or something. Like, you get in your battle wagon, and, Mork is great, and then
what makes
plow
the battle wagon
into a bunch of Marines or something. I mean, vehicle homicide is really effective.
Allahu Mork bar.
I believe they did it in
we're so getting kicked off YouTube.
91 during the Gulf War, first Gulf War, I guess. The Iraqi army was dug in. I forget which battle. But instead of getting out of their armored vehicles, the company commander or the brigade commander, something like that, decided to order the armored vehicles to drive inside the trench and just run down all the enemy troops. And then when they withdrew, so that seemed to work well for them. They didn't have to get out of their vehicles to get shot at in the first place. I'd do the same thing against orcs. There's a bunch of Gretchen in there, as if you'd get out of the truck.
Especially when you got that death roller and a big fucking dozer blade on the front of it. That'll be like to see vehicles allowed to do sort of like a death or glory thing, like the whole tank shocking.
Well, how much is a rhino?
Impact.
A rhino's like fucking 14 tons of, allegedly, we'll say.
Thanks to its space-age alloys.
And Yeah, and then like what you got a dude who's like maybe 100 kilos if he's lucky, and
Yeah, there's an interesting thought for you. If the rhino's 14 kilos and each marine weighs roughly a ton with his armor on, does the rhino like double in weight when you put a full squad of 10 dudes in it? If so, that's going to be pretty fucking gnarly for the dudes on the receiving end of 24 tons of rhino.
and too bad it's only going to be going like fucking 3 k's an hour.
So, yes. Vehicles and units fighting against vehicles usually can fall back without penalty. However, they cannot move in the charge phase when they have moved or shot in the same turn. Most walkers don't have this rule.
Get wrecked, walkers.
Interesting. Terrain enhances armor in assault phase for the defender, or both in consecutive turns, and is negated by grenades. So, I guess that's again, this isn't the assault version of 40k, this is another shooting edition. And I can see units that are in long-term assaults, just because of things like this. You have grenades, I have grenades. And just more of that marine pillow fighting that seems to happen. You know what I'm on about? Where marine tac squads charge and then just nothing dies.
Yep, I don't know, I've got nothing to add. Hashtag not my book 7.
Alright, what about...
Sorry, hashtag not my 8th edition. Sorry, I'm still got one track mind. Still not over the last thing. I blame 7th, the book 7 for this. So as soon as Space Wolves and, the Thousand Suns. Look, I'm not even going to blame the Space Wolves. They weren't part of it. They're just a bunch of freaking fuzzy boys. So
it's not even book 7 that broke it though.
Yeah.
Like 40k, they reckon they've been working on this edition for 2.5 years. Bullshit. But they don't seem to tell Forge World these things. It's just like they just pull it out of their ass one day, and Forge World's like the fucking... They're like someone who has no idea, and they just get given a really shitty job. You know, like, oh, you there, you got to guard the bee. You know, and then Games Workshop just tells them what to do, and Forge World's like, oh, sure thing, no worries. Like, we'll get right on that, even if they don't agree with it. They're just a yes man. And it's like, we're going to go to 8th edition. Oh, okay, yes, sir. Like, what about all those $1,000 Imperial Armor bundles we just sold to all the people? They're like, oh, don't worry about that, peasants. We'll give them a voucher for $40, and they can always spend it online. So, yay. I'm sorry, that's just bitterness seeping into this, something that I'm very sus on. Alright. Actual real news. Vertical movement does not count against the allowance, but a model cannot go higher than the movement value in a given phase. Lots of exceptions for jumping, flying, etc., of course, and ranges are measured on the ground level from base or model to base or model, whichever is nearer. So, okay, if you're like on the second floor of a building, you measure from your base to like the head of the guy below you. That's what that's saying. The nearest point to nearest point, yeah.
Nah.
But your vertical movement doesn't count. So someone used to have to roll like difficult terrain to move up in a building. Now it's just like you just levitate diagonally towards them.
Oh, okay, that's... So they've got no clip on. Nice. They just fucking walk through shit.
Yeah, man. It's Unreal Tournament with
awesome.
No grav.
Yeah,
low
true.
grav mode.
Hopefully they have some telefrags in there, teleportation discs. That'd be sick. Since deep striking isn't a mishap, but you can teleport inside a unit, exploding that unit, getting a free kill.
I don't think so.
I think that is on there.
Units
somewhere.
are deployed within 3 inches of a transport, but they cannot move, but they can charge in the charge phase. So that'll be interesting to see in practice. I don't know if that's a positive or a negative. I suppose it's positive if you're in their lines with your vehicle already, but it's a negative for your vehicle, for your squad, if like you're trying to get that turn 2 charge, you're probably not going to get the distance because you're only getting that 3-inch hop out, whereas you need that sort of 6-inch hop out. Does that make sense?
Depends on how far vehicles move now. They might be able to move fucking 70.
True, yeah, you got me there. No more firing from a transport. Hey, you're fucked, guard players. No more of that plasma out the back of your Chimera piss shooting past the fucking turret that's physically in the way. Yeah, I hate that rule. Though some vehicles, especially open-top ones, have extra firing point weapons if they transport enough, and sometimes eligible models. But they use their own ballistic skill, and the kind of weapon is fixed. For example, Land Raiders have 5 fire point... Oh, sorry, no, Raiders is in the Dark Eldar ones that nobody uses anymore, because Dark Eldar have sucked for 2 editions.
Yeah, piss off our Dark Eldar players.
I like our Dark Eldar players. Not their fault they get shit on. For example, Raiders have 5 fire point splinter rifles, but only if they transport Kabbalite warriors. So anyone else who has a gun hops in and they just put it down gently on the ground and don't fire it. No challenges. Well, that fucks...
Get wrecked, Chaos.
Legion champions, Chaos.
Kind of...
you have to challenge, but because you're not allowed to challenge anymore, you just have to stand there.
Well, that's just... that. I wonder how much ink, like in value and paper, that just wasted. Like in all the books, the previous books. I guess they're all fucking null and void now, but...
Well, here's the thing, like, people have brought this up.
No challenges, Jesus Christ.
You know how you brought up the whole, the contradiction of dumbing it down and oversimplifying?
Yeah, huh?
Well, here's another one. People are saying, oh, if you've been playing for a while, you should be used to edition changes. The thing is, like, the average edition used to last, like, 5 years. This edition has lasted barely 3. The edition before it's lasted barely 3, so you've gone through 2 editions in basically the same time you would normally go through 1. You're onto your 3rd edition in 3 years. Like, from 6th, then 7th, then 8th. And if you bought codexes back in, like, 3rd Ed, when 3rd Ed went to 4th, all those codexes were still usable. And if you wanted to buy them all, they're only like $25 a codex. So it was $250 to buy, like, 10 codexes. Now, my Horus Heresy book collection, like the black books, red books, whatever, I don't buy red books. They're a waste of money. Is about 1,250 Australian dollars. That's the sort of difference here. And people saying, oh, but the black books are mostly fluff. No, they're not. The fluff is maybe half the book. You've got to remember, a lot of that book space is given over to A, new units, B, new lists, C, Legion rules and traits, and D, just to make points out of all these, all the campaigns and scenarios that they add into each book, because there's a significant chunk of each book given over to missions and scenarios. So everything but the fluff is going to be negated if we go to...
Don't forget about E. E's like at the back of it. It's got all the Horus Heresy. Buy our shit, motherfucker, at the end of the books now.
Well, I'm going to miss the ads.
And
that's
F
alright.
as well. It's right next to the F for fuck you.
That's alright. I'll just go and buy a White Dwarf. There's enough ads in a White Dwarf magazine to supply me with hundreds of fucking black books.
Yeah, that's what they're saying in the back of their books. F is for fuck you to their customers. Because they're like, haha. But it's not investment, and that's what they're saying. I guess I understand where people are coming from with the whole, hey, you should be used to editions by now, and I am, and that's why I download a lot of PDFs. Because I know they're going to be null and void in a couple of years. So I just don't buy them. But that's how Games Workshop makes money, right? Like their book sales would be through the roof. Because it's cheap to produce one. Or cheap to make one from scratch to finish because it's just fucking words, right? You hire some writer, which there's, as far as I'm aware, a fuckload of them, and whether they're good or bad, it doesn't matter. Who cares? You want it's a money game, right? You want the cheap cunt, so you can just produce a fuckload of books. You sell them, people buy them, and then you replace them. And yeah, that's how that seems to be working, and it's working well for them. So whatever.
Yes, conspiracies ahoy.
It's just money.
Yes.
Money ain't no conspiracy. Yo, dog.
Well, how's this one for you then? Units have always the same toughness and save now. There are some models that have toughness dash and save dash and adapt like drones and grots. Most of the other combined units have matching stats now. Black Templar Neophytes have a 3+ now for whatever reason. So I'm assuming they mean 3+ save. So Black Templar Scouts will have a 3+ save. So does that mean Terminators now are either they don't have a 2+ save and they're now a toughness 2? That doesn't make sense because
that makes sense because they got 2 wounds apparently. They've all got 2 wounds across the board.
We've seen that Marines and that have that Marines in general still have the 3+ armor save and they're still the toughness of 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this rumor is not giving us the full picture.
The
if
Terminators
I talk
have
more like William Shatner,
a ward save or whatever in whatever the hell they're calling their invulnerable.
Well, here's the thing: if Terminators have two wounds each, right? Where does that put Horus Heresy Terminators? Because a lot of the standard Terminators are only 1 wound, whereas many of the Legion Terminators have 2 wounds. Are they going to go to 3 wounds or stay at 2 wounds and have additional armor save? See, questions, people. We have the documents. Command points allow to reroll saves, hits, wounding, or charge distance. Reroll any single dice throw. Negate all terrain in 12 inches of one of your models. Alter the attack sequence. Boost psychic block rolls. Allow additional reserve. So what? They're like super duper marker lights? See, why should they negate terrain? Oh, I bought a Force Org chart matching list that has rhinos and tactical marines in it. Because of my excellent use of the units I buy, I'm just ignoring the fact you're hiding in a bunker. That's fucking retarded if true. I don't think you should be giving bonuses to encourage people to make a combined arms detachment list, something that follows the Force Org chart. I think people should just have only the Force Org chart to follow, and don't let them do that fucking bullshit build your own list out of whatever you want, because that's part of what ruined 7th edition.
Yeah, but now they have 3 ways to play. Build your own, force play with the meta or die and lose your competitions, and or a 3rd way to play, which is they haven't decided yet. Oh, the real streamlined one, that's right. You roll a dice, or if you don't have a dice, flip a coin. If you don't have a coin, paper, rock, scissors. If you don't know how to paper, rock, scissors, headbutt each other. And whoever wins the game. That's streamlined as fuck. It's just bang, bang, bang. You're just getting out game after game after game. And, the longest part there is just setting up your army. So, yeah, that's your 3rd way to play. It's called the 3-second system.
I like it.
Yep.
Alright, what about this? Perils of the Warp. Snake Eyes on the test. So if you roll double 1s, then you have to roll a d6 on a table, and you suffer certain penalties. So, penalise the psychers.
Well, one of those penalties being that you're playing 8th edition. And if you're playing 40k, then you're double penalised already before you even roll your fucking psychic test. Get fucking wrecked! Woo! No, I'm joking.
Get swifty!
I will probably play 40k. Probably because people near me play 40k.
I would go back and play 40k if it was any good. I don't know yet. That's the thing.
Well, I'm gonna have to give it a go,
I'm not.
and I'm going to shit on it. Like, take off my pants and shit on it.
Yeah, we don't fuck around. Like, we were hating on that Chaos Codex on, like, fucking day 1. Like, I had one read through that book and I knew it was fucked. Yeah, I would happily try it. I want to try it then. I want to try it. If it's not a fucking outstanding edition that blows my socks off, I'm going to be like, why the fuck did you just ruin the existing system? Because the existing system's just fine. For 30k anyway, it's got a few little kinks in it, that need ironing out, but no edition of 40k ever. I've played back in 2nd Ed has ever been perfect. In 2nd Ed there was plenty of bullshit, just like there is now, plenty of loosely interpreted rules. So, thinking that Games Workshop suddenly tightened everything up because they've gone to a new edition is, well, call me a cynic, but it's retarded.
And a new CEO. Don't forget about the new CEO, Mako.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
The new Games Workshop.
The guy that has nothing to do with the rules and just signs off on shit? Yeah, righto.
Yeah, but he wants money. He loves money.
Alright. What's some other interesting ones? Matched games have a fixed number of turns, 5 or 6. Well, which one is it? 5 or 6? Depending on the mission.
So it's fixed.
It's fixed at one of these numbers. So 18 inches is starting range, and turn 1 charges are completely legal. Okay. So does that just mean the armies like the tower and that are just going to castle up even further at the back of the table?
Yes.
So, okay. Reserves are not random, except for rounding. Second turn, half the units are deployed. Third turn, half of the remaining. Fourth turn, the rest. Okay, so you'll split your army, your reserves in half. And then half of that will come down, and then a quarter of the original amount, and then the last quarter. That's interesting, because again, fucks characters in, like, you know, the Raven Guard, the Alpha Legion, things like that use a lot of reserves, and fuck with people's reserves.
Correction, used to use a lot of reserves.
Ooh. What up? Get swifty.
Sure they're still doing it until this comes out. And then they can roll a 1d6 against each other.
Yeah. Take a shit on the ground. Get swifty. Flyers have an individual to hit modifier, mostly -2 or -3. A 6 is always a hit as usual. Depends on the flying mode for flyers that have more than one flying mode, I'm guessing. I'm hoping that applies to like monstrous creatures and flying monstrous creatures as well. It would be good to... But then again, like -3, that's still a big modifier. That's basically forcing everything to snap shoot. So it's just they've just renamed snap shooting, but now you've got to go through the rigmarole of actually doing a modifier. I don't know that I agree with it.
Oh, yeah, but that's the thing. There can be positive modifiers, so it might be a 6 is always a hit as usual. Yep, cool. So it's -2 or 3, but you might have, you know, because you've got Gilliman with his dick out on the table, then, you know, you get a modifier of fucking -20 because you discussed it out because you're playing with Gilliman, so you're fucking -23 to hit the fucking flying thing, and a 6 isn't a hit. Maybe, you know, like I just said, it's a positive thing, and you might be a 1+.
What's with the modifiers? Like, you played Mordheim. That's exactly what I was about to say. You and I have played a fair bit of Mordheim with one another. Would you agree?
Yes, which is just fantasy, like old school.
Right. So, how long does it take to resolve an individual combat in Mordheim?
Depending on
30 seconds, maybe a minute?
Maybe.
Right? For one guy versus one guy. So what happens if I put 3,000 points of Legion on the table?
Yeah, well, it's not Mordheim, so...
Seems to sound a lot like Mordheim with the modifiers.
No, because you have a fucking life modifier, mate. Especially against my army. Because my army has a -5 modifier to your toughness value, so you're at -1 at your toughness, so you instantly lose, and I win. There you go.
Oh, well, when you put it like that. But no, in all seriousness, if there's a constant
but that's not
fucking around with hit modifiers and wound modifiers.
But each individual dude is going to be an individual squad, so it's 1 or 2 minutes. It's going to be the same amount of time.
Yeah, but remember, you're going to have modifying weapons. Some guys are going to have different weapons to others. Yeah, most guys will have bolt guns, but then you're still going to have to do a sergeant
in combat, it's easily fixed. The majority weapon is the weapon that's used in combat. Done. Fucking boom. Look at me.
That's not what they've said. They've said that you know, things like power fists will strike as, you know, their power fist stats. So it's, I don't know. I can see it devolving right? If they charge, first.
Yeah, so you get all your shit out and then you kill the army, kill the enemy.
Don't get charged by power fists. It's like initiative is becoming far less important in the charge now. Interesting to know. Alright. Terrain does not influence movement distance per se. Some Citadel terrain pieces... Oh, it has to be Citadel terrain. It can't just be terrain. It has to be Citadel terrain. So people using battle mats and homemade stuff, yeah, fuck you. I, of course, am being facetious. Some Citadel terrain pieces halve the movement or do other things. So you go near the wall of Slanesh, you get molested.
Yeah, that's the GW one, steals your wallet and fucking kicks you in the nuts. And then if you're a GW fanboy, you still get
And then,
+1 to your modifier
and then
because
sues
you call
you,
their shit ice cream.
and then sues you because their foot got hurt kicking you in the nuts.
No, I reckon that means that you'll be able to take. They've learnt from the bunker and the walls, so they want to produce a generic shit for people to buy to buff their army, which makes sense.
Alright, last one I think we'll cover off on. The very last point. In matched play, models have a fixed base size specified in the General's Handbook. In the two other game types, you know, the ones where you can use whatever unit you want, well, you can also use whatever base you want. So put your fucking Wraith Knight and your Riptide on fucking 25mm ice skates, champ. And enjoy. So I find that interesting. So everything... Does that mean that vehicles are going to be based, Cat?
No, I reckon that's just
unsubstantiated rumour.
Age of Sigma.
Unsubstantiated rumour. Vehicles will be based. You heard it here first, people. Yeah, I don't know. Matched play is not something that really affects the Horus Heresy, but units like jet bikes and stuff, you see a lot of people changing the bases they're on, because a lot of people don't like that clear flying base. I know I personally don't. And they often go for like an oval base, like one of the mid-sized oval bases. So it better suits the shape of the bike. Are they saying that there'll be a set of dimensions given, or a certain base type? So it must be on this base. I don't know. I just don't know. It's arguing apples and oranges, but is this because, in matched play there was too much blatant modelling for advantage previously?
Yeah, no, probably with...
It was that Zench Pastor army, wasn't it?
No, it was a painting comp with Ty, man.
Oh, do people even know about that?
Yeah, we've mentioned it before.
Okay, well, we won't go over old ground, but it was funny. We still laugh about it.
Disqualified for base not being supplied with the miniature.
Even though they're the bases that the miniatures did arrive with, but they're not the ones that they were listed with on the web store. So, yeah, it was just retarded. Ty. Yeah, so 47 minutes we've been talking about this crap. And that's what it is to me. It's crap. It's unsubstantiated fucking rumours. I can't, emphasize that enough. I just think it's interesting to note that if any of this stuff here is true, that, they greatly affect especially the characters, but also a lot of the units and Legion traits in Heresy. It would not be a simple matter of an FAQ. You're talking a massive system-wide rewrite. Am I correct in this thinking, Kat?
No, who the hell am I to say what's correct or not? I think that this is all wrong. Though, I'll still play it, whatever. If it's dumbed down, sick. I can just think less.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm not averse to playing 8th edition. I just want to see them make a great edition and justify the fact that they're going to be invalidating my thousands and thousands of dollars worth of books. And yeah, I don't know. I think I've spent more in 7th edition, or 6/7th, on books than I have in all of the previous editions combined.
Yeah, well, get ready to be disappointed, because if GW's track record is anything to go by, this edition will be like the other ones.
Well, here's a question for you, Kat.
All over the place.
If everything's going to like the free War Scrolls, how will that affect Forge World's Black Books? Will they release all the units' rules for free? Will they not release them for free, and you're still going to have to buy the Black Books anyway to get the actual rules you need?
Yeah. Anything they can do to sell they'll fucking monetize it, man. Oh, it's all free. It's once you buy it, then it's yours. You're freely to do with whatever you want with it, but you initially have to give us money, which is fine because it's their property, right? So it'd be stupid not to charge money for it.
Oh yeah.
How else are they going to fucking make money off of the miniatures?
Nobody cares if they make money. People just care if they do it in a shady way. I think that's the best way to look at it. I think people want Forge World to have money spent on them. I think people want Forge World to succeed. They want Games Workshop to succeed. They just want them to not fuck us around at the same time. I think that's a fair call. So
they lost my vote a long time ago, so whatever.
Yeah, I'm still very cynical. Here's the thing, because I've been there since second ed, so have you. We're jaded, cynical motherfuckers because we have every right to be. Like, I don't get all these people who turn around and they're like, oh, well, Games Workshop has my trust. It's like, how? They've done, so much wrong over the years and so good all right. And when was, every edition, here's the thing that people forget. All the people that have come out of the fucking woodwork overnight screaming autistically about how 7th ed was the worst ever and they can't wait for 8th. They weren't all screaming at the start of 7th ed. At the start of 7th ed, it was all, 7th ed's going to fix all the mistakes of 6th edition. It's going to radically change the game. And they said the same thing at 6th, when 6th came out. It's like they got no fucking idea. You just, they shit me. They're fucking mindless, dumbass yes men. They turn around, they're like, Games Workshop wouldn't fuck us around like they have the previous fucking 7 editions. And then I've got more people going, Games Workshop being really fucking transparent with this edition. They're filling us all in on what it's going to have beforehand with their really fucking cryptic clues from their community website. And it's like, hang on, when 3rd ed was nearing its end, they released all the chapter approved rules for 4th edition in the fucking White Dwarf and said, playtest this. And the players went out and we playtested all the chapter approved changes for 4th ed. And then the 3.5 codex from Chaos. It's called 3.5 because it was the second codex we got in 3rd edition and it had rules for 4th edition printed in it. Right? All those universal special rules that we know now, like tank hunters, stuff, that didn't exist in 3rd ed. That all came in the Chaos 3.5 codex. And that was all stuff that was used in 4th ed. They forward planned it all. And they gave it to us, and we were playing 4th ed essentially 6 months before 4th ed actually came out. So they're not being the most transparent that they've ever been. They're being partially transparent, just cryptically feeding us shit to try and build up the hype. It's like fucking No Man's Sky on PC or, Star Wars Battlefront. They're like, check out the awesome graphics. Gameplay may vary. Check out how cool this is. Gameplay may vary. Oh, yeah, you can totally, talk to your friends and play with them in No Man's Sky. Maybe a single-player game. And, the hype train, man. Fuck the hype train. People are full of shit. You don't know what the edition contains.
I don't think it is hype train. I think it's Game Boy. Not Game Boy. Fanboy. GW fanboyism. And it doesn't matter how this edition goes out, people will say it's the best edition.
Well, I think it's fine being hyped for the edition. I think it's wrong to defend it when you don't know what it's about. The only defense you can give right now is telling people that what they're saying about it is unfair if they're just having a dig at it for existing. That's pretty much the only defense it can have at the moment, is saying to people, look, you don't know what 8th ed is going to contain, so with all respect, don't have a go at 8th ed yet if you don't understand what it's going to contain, because people have no right to. And that's it. That's all they can say. They can't say anything about, it's going to be balanced, it's going to be the best, it's so well played, because they don't know.
We can. Know. There's nothing stopping people from judging what GW has done so far. What with the plastic Thunderhawks and the, just treating their audience or their customers with contempt.
Did everyone enjoy their Rise of the Primarch campaign book, which has now been made redundant? Oh shit, did I say that last part out loud? Did you all enjoy the Wrath of Magnus book, which has now been made redundant? Oh fuck, did I say that out loud? You see, they treat you with contempt, and you keep going back to them. All I'm saying is, how I buy computer games now, Kat? I don't pre-order them. I never fucking pre-order them. Yeah, Steam, of course. But also, I sort of wait. I wait a few weeks and let all the reviews filter in. And then I decide, maybe it's worth my money. And if the reviews filter in and they're like, game is full of bugs, constantly crashes, I go online, I see a bunch of streamers and this game's crashing all the fucking time, here's a list of problems. I'll be like, yeah, I'm not going to buy that game. But instead, people in 40k, they have the exact opposite mentality. They're like, oh, new edition's coming out. Well, I better buy the pre-order fucking leather-bound hardback edition made with real fucking ivory, encrusted with the fucking sweat of Matt Ward's balls, and it's going to be the best edition ever, which fully justifies his purchase of a book that could possibly be made completely redundant like all other rulebooks have been within a few years. Like,
Yep.
Yeah, not that I'm cynical at all, right? But, like, look at the clusterfuck that's Dawn of War 3 at the moment, man. That thing's reviews are all over the fucking shop. And it's basically people just hate it because they're like, yeah, it's a Warcraft clone. It's nothing like the other Dawn of Wars. It's a Warcraft clone. Which we called last week on Scrubdown. We're like, looks like fucking Warcraft. So, yeah. I don't know, people. Just wait off. Be patient. Like, don't sugar Games Workshop's dick and go out and buy any fucking rulebook or whatever. Just download the free rulebook that they say they're putting out and play it at home when it comes out, right? Don't give them any fucking money. Do not even think about giving them any fucking money. If they can convert your thoughts into money, they will. We have the documents.
Oh yeah, on that, Tim from the IR Forest, who was talking on a, when I release this now, he was talking on one of the groups, and he went into Games Workshop in his local town. I guess it is Queensland, right, in Australia. That's on his podcast. So he goes into his whatever part of Queensland he's in, and goes to his local Games Workshop because he wanted to buy those terrain storage containers, like the actual miniature.
Oh, the shipping containers.
Yeah, the shitty ones.
The shipping containers with random fucking guns. Yeah.
Yeah. So he goes in there and because he wanted them now. He wanted the 2 independent stockers that are near.
That's how they get you. That's how they get you,
yeah,
man.
that's how they get you. That compulsive buy. Well, I guess it was pre-thought, but anyway. So this staff member was trying to be like, oh yeah, it's all these paints, trying to upsell him to get the new terrain, the new 40k terrain, which I believe is in the under high fucking box set or whatever. So he's like, nah man. And then this guy's, Tim's made his purchase, and this guy said, just take this pamphlet. It's about 40k and limited edition model, and then the next, a subscription kind of limited edition model, some shit like that. And Tim said, no, keep it. And the guy's like, no, take it. He's like, no, I don't play 40k. Keep it. And Stefano says, what the hell do you play then? And Tim started to walk off at that point, turned around, and gave him the old, I play 30k. Just walked out of the fucking thing. I think he may have gone to Games Workshop just to snub this motherfucker off. 30k elitism is strong. Sometimes you just gotta let people know, I'm surprised he wasn't just fucking in there putting on his Eye of Horus fucking stickers all over the shop.
I don't know. It's hard not to feel superior.
Excuse me, sir. What are you doing? I'm fucking up your store.
It can be hard not to feel superior when you walk into a Games Workshop, because like Dino and I, or you and I, we've walked into like Games Workshops before, and like literally being the only motherfuckers with a painted army in there. And it's like, you see the same cunts in there every day, and it's like, you're here every day, hobbying every day, and you can't paint a fucking army. I don't get it. I work full fucking time. I manage a business. I pretty much I can do like an hour a night maybe, and a couple of hours on weekends if I'm lucky, if my missus doesn't like force me to go out and socialise with people. And it's like, I can still paint a full fucking army, right? Everyone we know works full time, and they can manage to fucking pump out an army. Ty can pump out an army incredibly fast, right? And then, like, I go into Games Workshop, and here's the same fucking people with just their grey shit. I don't know. Games Workshops, man, they blow my fucking mind. It's like walking into another world, hey? Anyway, I think we'll wrap it up there. We've definitely gone off tangent at the end, because Games Workshop brings that out in us. I'm sure if they could, they would try and sell a limited edition Outer Circle going off on a tangent hard copy book in leather with an extra 50 additional pages of fluff and custom dice. But we won't let them. So, yes. Kat, anything you'd like to say or rant about to our listeners?
Nah, take this with, no, there isn't any seriousness in this. It's still just fucking rumours and shit. We'll know once the new edition is here. We'll be even more cynical about it, because it's going to be. I plan for the best, but I hope for the best, but I plan for the worst, because that's why I'm not buying anything new at the moment, because it's probably going to become redundant.
Yeah, agree, man. So, thoughts and comments below the video, as always. And if you want to talk about army lists or just have a gas bag with us, we do have an email. It'll be listed below, but it is the outercircle30k@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook. Again, none of this is monetized. We're just giving you all these links because we can. Feel free to engage with us. We're people just like you. We're not like uppity people who don't want to associate with their fan base. So, yeah, hit us up. Don't be scared. And if you do disagree with what we've said, that's fine. We don't mind people disagreeing with us. We have debates all the time in, the comments section. The only thing that I do ask is that if you do disagree with us, especially about things where we have evidence, which does occasionally happen, like GW just outright lying to people. If you disagree with us about it, provide some counter evidence. Don't just be shitty about it. I think as humans, you owe it to yourselves to be a little bit fucking critical, because Games Workshop has no allegiance to you whatsoever, when it should be the other way around. The company should be indebted to you, because you're what keeps them afloat. So, you're valuable. You're valuable to us. We love you. See you all next time.